40-year-old Dipsy who lives in his shed at the bottom of the garden.
Well, this is my Swiss chalet in the garden. Built myself. This is my second home.
I know what the pecking order is. Volkswagen babies, stroke dogs, and then me. I'm under no illusions whatsoever. Once he's out there, I'll go down there for hours. I think he's probably got like engine oil running through him instead of blood.
Well, here it is. The beast. This is my baby. This is a 65 Devon camper. I paid 650 quid for it about 12 years ago.
Dipsy hasn't aged gracefully, but because the market's booming, even in the state she's in now, she's worth around 6 or 7 grand.
It was pretty ropey, really. You could always tell Nigel's van because of the smell of petrol coming out the back.
For the last 6 years, Nigel's been involved in the running of the Split Screen Van Club.
He became a member and went to the AGM in Stratford and came back and kind of said, I've kind of volunteered to be on the committee.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'll bring us to order.
And then came back from an AGM and said, oh, is that the president? I was like,
Nigel's always getting stick about his bus.
Since he's been president, but I can't recall he's ever turned it to a show.
Pretty poor advert for the club, really.
I've taken so much stick about it, I finally decided now is the time to do something about this van. May 2006 is our AGM weekend, and just to be able to turn up in a van that just in no way resembles what they saw at the end of this year would just be fantastic.
That means he's only got 150 days to complete this ambitious project. It's not only time that Nigel could be short of. He plans to throw about 12 grand into this build, but most of the top buses cost at least double that, with some changing hands for around £40,000. And to Nigel, performance is just as important as looks.
There's an increasing number of people that are drag racing these buses, so on top of all the bodywork and the interior work that they need to do, try and get a decent engine built up that's going to take this van down a quarter-mile strip in under 18 seconds.
To hold his extra horsepower, Dipsy will have to be structurally sound, but Nigel won't know how solid she is until the paint and underseal is stripped away.
You get so far into a project and it all goes horrifically wrong, but you've already invested so much time and money in it that you can't actually afford not to finish it.
it is the type of thing you get divorced over if you're married.
It's a tight time scale that I'm setting myself, but I'm determined I will get this van done.
The V-dub scene has exploded over the last few years, and vans in particular have never been more popular than they are now.
There's more people want to buy than there are for sale, and so that means the prices go up because someone says, right, I want that, I'm prepared to pay £1,000 more than you are.
The scene is so big an entire industry's grown up around it. This is Dub Freeze, just one of the 60-odd shows held in the UK throughout the year. It's a great place for sourcing all those little treasures.
Nick, we'll go down this way.
Nigel found this out 10 years ago when he first met Nikki here.
We're all in now. She's finally got out of bed and...
I just tend to abandon him and just go look at the nice things like the t-shirts. Mind you, that's quite nice as well, isn't it?
That one.
And then he just comes back and says, can we afford things? And I say yes or no. That's all right.
Nigel won't have much trouble finding all the parts he needs from shows like this, magazines, clubs or the internet. But choosing the good stuff, whether original, refurbished or custom made, will be vital if he's to bring the bus in on time and under budget. Nigel's one of the many VW enthusiasts who've struggled to keep these classic vehicles on the road. These buses are air-cooled, so there's no water to freeze or boil. A lot of the problems come on hot days in slow-moving traffic when they can become seriously overheated. Nigel intends to rip out the old engine and boost performance considerably with a new motor. With this in mind, Nigel's brought her down to the engine builders for a quick spin on the dyno to see what kind of power she's putting out before the work starts. First, it's the moment every girl fears, stepping on the scales.
Oh!
the more accurate the weight is, you put it into the dyno and it can work everything back from there.
Not surprisingly, she's put on a few pounds since rolling out the factory 40 years ago.
Yeah, it weighs more than we thought it was going to be, probably because it's full of filler and chicken wire and newspaper and then more filler and water. It's
Tight on time.
a lot worse than I thought it was going to be.
Look, that's metal. Look, Nigel, quick, get a magnet. That's metal.
Scary to drive, won't steer, won't brake.
Battered, beat up, leaking oil. In my opinion, I'd buy a rot-free bus from California, put a good engine in it and paint it. So it's a bit of a lost cause in my eyes.
They've had a good poke round. I didn't come down just to have the taken, but you know, it's just part and parcel of owning this bus.
This door, I'll have you know, is off a show-winning van.
Yeah, so the show-winning door on the van doesn't fit the rest of the vehicle.
6 months is tight. I've got a split and I've been doing it for 2 years and I still haven't finished.
Putting it on then.
30 horsepower, 40 horsepower? No. 20 horsepower? Maybe.
The first test will measure the brake horsepower. Dipsy should be somewhere around the low 40s.
So using your mirror, carefully watch the rolls, just start them rolling and just get it going a little bit. That's fine. Dip the clutch. That's it, all the way through to full throttle now. Foot to the floor, faster, faster, full throttle. The clutch is slipping. Okie dokie, into neutral.
As we say, the clutch is slipping like crazy. The peak brake horsepower at the rear wheels is a whopping 13 brake horsepower at the wheels.
Next up is a 0 to 60 and a top speed test.
Did you make 60 on the way up? Yeah. Did you? Ooh, we might do that.
Unfortunately, Dipsy can't quite make it to 60.
That's 40.
So 55 miles an hour will go down as a top speed.
Okay.
After letting everything cool down and with a little more care not to overheat the clutch, the quarter-mile sprint is simulated. A standard bus will do the run in around 26 seconds. With modification, a sub 14-second time is possible.
27 seconds.
27 seconds. My estimate was 30.
So it's not.
So
it's slow, but it's not really slow, especially with the slipping clutch.
Yeah.
The new engine will be built from the ground up using new parts from the States. It'll be based on the standard VW engine, but will be fitted with a turbo and tuned to give it a lot more grunt.
Nigel could have taken a 3-litre Porsche engine and run similar power, similar numbers that we're going to produce for him, but there's something very entertaining about taking an engine that's only meant to make 30 or 40 brake horsepower and getting it to make over 100 and to run big numbers and run quicker than a split bus with a Porsche engine in.
I just can't wait for that first time off the lights when the boy racer next to me just doesn't know what's hitting.
We want him to get in it and pootle along like a pussycat, and then when he floors it, just hell break loose and it just be unbelievable.
We're going to go from 28-second quarter miles to 16.
16-second quarter miles. 8-second 0 to 60s.
It's going to be awesomely quick. It will scare the life out of him.
After the break, Nigel strips Dipsy in preparation for the chemical dipping process. But he could be in for a bit of a shock.
I do know a good weld when I see it, and there isn't too many of those on there.
Nigel Eistead has a problem. He's president of the Split Screen Van Club, but he drives one of the dodgiest vans on the scene.
Battered, beat up, leaking oil.
He's given himself 5 months to transform his tired 65 Devon camper Dipsy into a cool bus with over 100 brake horsepower.
It will scare the life out of him.
With a full-time job and a young family, he's certainly going to be spinning plates for a while.
Oh, what's that, Tom? Boss, good boy.
It's day one of the project and Nigel sets about stripping Dipsy back to a rolling shell.
This is the original interior, it's nice and easy to take out. It's not a long job at all.
Nigel will be refurbishing this tired interior, but to impress at the summer shows, he'll need to spend a bit more time and cash pimping.
We've got the stereo there, which lives in the back, because when you're out in a camper you spend more time in the back than you do in the front. There's a remote commander on the front, CD multi-changer under the seat. The wiring is unorthodox, shall we say, but the last time it went back in it was just a